The Omen is really quite a franchise. 6 films, 2 TV shows, and 5 novels. In today's video we look at the original film The Omen, released in 1976, and the remake, released in 2006. As a side, the latest movie in the franchise, The First Omen, was released this year, but we haven't seen it yet, so it would make for a very short review video. Anyway, 1976, Richard Donner. Arguably more well known for directing Christopher Reeve in 1978's Superman. The story sees the Thorns, played by Gregory Peck and Lee Remick, raise a son, Damien, who, as it turns out, isn't quite their own flesh and blood. I appreciate this is a significant oversimplification of the plot, but if you're watching this video, I reckon you're already familiar with how it goes. Only Gregory Peck can pull off the level of deception that opens the film and have you feel sorry for him. Hats off to the casting director. He is a very charismatic actor and a perfect fit for the authoritative Robert Thorne, along with Keith Jennings, played by David Warner's Hare, and Patrick Troughton, our second Doctor Who, as Father Brennan. We have a very strong cast. Not forgetting Billy Whitelaw as the obviously sinister and obviously untrustworthy second nanny, citing boyfriend problems as a potential reason for the first nanny committing suicide and shoehorning her way into the Thorne household. After the demise of their first nanny, you'd think they'd be a little more cautious. We're treated to an awesome soundtrack, courtesy of Jerry Goldsmith, famous for scoring Alien, Poltergeist, Gremlins, and so on. It is an extensive list. Weird, psychedelic, operatic, it's another example of music really lifting a film. The dog eyeballing the nanny at Damien's birthday party. Jennings developing photographs in his darkroom. These moments are significantly elevated, made more memorable by their accompanying music. Having a similar impact to the use of music, the different camera angles are vast, but only to better serve the story. The close-up of a distraught Thorne reciting the verse on his hotel bed, their covert search for Damien's mother in the graveyard. The camera shifts to the perspective of what is watching the men as they dig in the grave. The cool aerial shot during their meeting with Bugenhagen. Damien and Kathy in the car at the safari park, chaotic and frightening. The camera dances around to match the mood of the scene. Without sounding too morbid, the deaths were good as well. Impalement, decapitation, window, kitchen tussle. Father Brennan probably could have just moved out of the way, let's face it, he had time. But impalement makes for a better horror movie. The gripes are superficial, really. Kathy's doctor following her fall, incidentally, another cool camera shot. Has a curious bedside manner, no condolences at the loss of their unborn child, casually discussing her care with Mr. Thorne as if he's talking about the weather, honestly lacking some serious people skills. Sticking with the medical professional theme, what on earth happened to patient-doctor confidentiality? What's with Kathy's psychiatrist telling Robert everything they've discussed about her mental health, asking that he agree to an abortion, as if he gets the deciding vote? Odd. And lastly, Peck breaking a gravestone like he's Superman? Clearly the audition started early. Again, a superficial gripe. Ultimately, a superb horror movie that changed the name Damien forever. Just Google the name and Only Fools and Horses and thank us later. A few years and 3 sequels later, we get to 2006 and a remake. A remake which is just that, a complete copy, bar a few tweaks, nothing fresh to add. But let's start with the good. It's a great cast, Julia Stiles, Liev Schrieber, with unfortunately none of Peck's charisma, Pete Postlethwaite with a sometimes Irish accent, David Thewlis taking a break from Hogwarts to get his head lopped off, and Michael Gambon, same break but manages to keep his head in a small but impactful role. Red. There's red everywhere in this film. Balloons, minus the friendly neighbourhood clown. Raincoats, umbrellas, telephone box, flowers, blankets, towels, wine, carpets, scooter. Watering can, strawberries, photos, wallpaper, everywhere. If it were a drinking game, it'd be ugly. And we've pretty much reached the end of the good. Yeah. It's a shame, really. They have Marco Beltrami doing the score, famous for Scream, Resident Evil, The Faculty, The Thing prequel. But it's just a bit bland. It adds nothing. They have Thorne promoted to Deputy Ambassador just so they can add another death at the start of the film that's straight out of a Final Destination movie. Unnecessary. Some of the existing deaths are changed for no obvious reason. No window for Kathy, no kitchen tussle for Mrs. Baylock. I'm sure they have their reasons floating out there somewhere, but everything else was the same, sometimes word for word it seemed, so these changes felt a little pointless. The dream sequences were just daft and again unnecessary. We don't need to see into Kathy's dreams. It's much more impactful that we don't see. Her suffering is incredibly lonely. Some smaller gripes? The gorilla breaking the glass at the zoo so easily? Really? Hello, health and safety? And in Father Spoleto, we get a cross between Voldemort and Emperor Palpatine. Perhaps a little overkill? The more significant gripe is how they portray Damien. They make a point at every opportunity to drive home how evil he is. At the zoo, he whispers the monkeys are afraid. Of him, is the implication. He constantly scowls at Kathy. He ignores her when she talks to him. He takes zero comfort from her. He is much more detached and less childlike. In the original, Damien's origin is more in doubt throughout the film. Is he evil, or is he surrounded by coincidences and tragedies? Is Kathy suffering with depression? His actions are more discreet, from Kathy's accident to the monkeys at the safari. He at least appears afraid as well, and hugs Kathy for comfort. In the remake, not so much. We get it, he's evil, he's definitely a baddie. We're not meant to like him or be in any doubt. Ever. Alas, another remake we really didn't need. Shocker. Anyway, just our thoughts, how about yours? Please like, subscribe, comment if you feel so inclined, and as always, have fun storming the castle. Thanks very much for listening. If you'd like to contact us or check out what we've been up to, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. If you enjoyed the video today, please do like it, subscribe to the channel, and ding the bell to receive notifications about new videos. See you in the next one.